Call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners to order. If you'll please rise and join us with the invocation from Jeff McElhatton from First Baptist Church, followed by the pledge.
Please join me as we invite the Lord's presence and blessing on today's proceedings. Lord God, thank you for our county and community. Thank you for the blessings we enjoy every day. Thank you for those who have been raised up to lead and guide us as they consider things that pertain to the lives, well-being, and prosperity of our county and communities. We ask for your wisdom. May justice, righteousness, truth, and honesty guide today's agenda. Bless our community leaders, we pray. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lenny, did you hear all that? There's some crazy feedback and stuff going. All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
County Manager Carochi.
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Victoria.
Present.
Jeff, thank you. Approval of today's agenda.
Mr. Chairman, Pro Tem, I am unaware of any changes we need to make to today's agenda, so I move for approval.
I will second that. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Almost wanted to do the vote by A. Aye. Just confused in the meeting.
It is hard sitting here when you haven't done it for a while, so.
All right, on to the consent agenda. We'll make a note that we are not scheduling any public hearings for this time. And number 3, the resolution is resolution number 24, which is amendment of resolution number 42, series of 2020.
With those clarifications, I move to approve today's consent agenda.
We'll second that. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, on to administration and informational. We'll start with staff, and we'll turn to the county manager for his report. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I'll start first with job opportunities. Fremont County has the following job opportunities posted. Department of Human Services, we have an early intervention, an intervention ongoing, and an adult protective service caseworkers positions open. Colorado State University Extension Office, we have an office manager at Pathfinder Park. Fremont County Sheriff's Department, we have numerous detention deputy positions that we need to fill. And for more information about employment opportunities with Fremont County, please go to our county website at fremontco.com, or you can call our HR department at 719-276-7410. I also want to take a second to lift up our HR department for all the great work that they do to support our county. As we are all fully aware of the fact that post-COVID, organizations and agencies have had a hard time keeping their workforce intact, and as of today, we only have 32 vacancies out of 370 total positions in Fremont County. Some of those of which are in the interview process and or pending selection. This is approximately an 11% vacancy rate. Our vacancy rate at the start of 2022 was 10%, and at the start of 2023, it was 12%. So we were right in the normal range for staff vacancies. Our HR Director, Alicia Stone, and our HR Generalist, Jenna Eastless, does a super job of working with our department heads and elected officials, recruiting and hiring new employees, and working with our benefit vendors to offer a robust benefit package and support to our team to retain our current staff. So I just wanted to shout out to Jenna and Alicia. It's also hard to believe that school begins this week, and with that, it's also that time of the year to begin our county budgeting process. Our Finance and Budget Director, Sean Sutton, and I have been meeting with department heads and elected officials about their 2024 budgets to develop the preliminary budget sheets prior to our initial budget meeting with the commissioners in September. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you. That's interesting. As people are probably well aware it's hard to find employees almost everywhere, so that's pretty good that we're at 11%. That's pretty good. Anything else for Tony?
No, sir.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, thanks, Tony. Now I'll turn to other elected officials. Anything? And I see you found something.
I did find something to talk about.
Commissioner Bell.
So the county does a lot of things, many different things. One of the things that we have chosen to do is we are co-sponsoring the Colorado Outdoorsman Days events at Pathfinder Park this coming weekend. All day Friday, all day Saturday is a huge expo with people and agencies from all over the state coming here. It's a hunting, fishing, and trapping exposition with so many different displays, things to participate in, hunter education classes. They're having different calling contests for elk, turkey, waterfowl, many demos, a kids fishing derby on Saturday, different instructional seminars, hunters education, trappers of the past, archery events, and maybe my favorite, they're having an ugly hunting dog contest. So Saturday night, events will wrap up with a banquet for the evening with auctions and raffles. So I would just urge anyone who has any interest in those things, which is probably 70 or 80% of Fremont County, to show up out there, see what's going on this weekend, because I will be there. I think my fellow commissioners may show up. I think it's going to be a really great weekend, and I would just urge anyone to go. If you want more information, go to ColoradoOutdoorsmansDays.com or do a Google, and it will pop right up for you. So I hope to see some of you out there. Thank you.
Have you been practicing your turkey call, right?
Well, yes, see, there you go.
Okay. All right, sounds like a good time. So another thing that just happened at Pathfinder Park was the 99th Annual Fremont County Fair. Started July 28th and ended on Saturday. It was a great fair. There was great turnout. There was a lot of events, rodeos. Family Day was well attended. We had people all over the grounds out there. The livestock shows were packed, people watching those. And then the livestock concluded with the livestock auction and then a CPRA rodeo on Saturday night. And the livestock auction, I don't have the complete final numbers yet of the auction, but it was over $200,000, which makes it the best sell in 99 years of the Fremont County Fair. So the buyers were very generous, so we appreciate every one of those. We appreciate all the sponsors and all the volunteers that made the fair go on and happen. It couldn't happen without all of those people. So we really want to appreciate them. And look forward to the 100 year, which is next year. So we're going to make it a big time fair, I hope. And I hope Major General John C. Fremont will be there to help us celebrate that one as well. So as you drive into the park, he's standing there in the middle looking at you. So we hope that it turns out great. One other quick public service announcement is we have been getting some rains, but it is still really dry out there, and there's a lot of fuels out there. So be very careful when you're out playing in the woods and in the wilderness, or even just driving down the road, and be diligent not to start any fires. So appreciate that. I know the winds are kind of starting to come around a little bit, so that makes it even more dangerous.
So if I could tack on just a couple of
Sure.
comments about the fair. It was incredible. I just thank you so much to every volunteer that we have, because we absolutely could not do it without every single one of them. And so I just wanted to shout out, big thank you, also big thank you to the staff at Pathfinder Park. I also would like to mention, Commissioner McFall just did say that we set a record in terms of the amount of money that was spent at our livestock sale this year. So much money was spent this year that it priced the commissioners out. We were unable to buy, which we are stalwarts. We're always there with our checkbook in hand and we're ready to buy. And those prices they went from nothing to, $1,200 in the first bid. So just so you know, as a comparison, the Grand Champion steer a year ago sold for $7,500. This year it went for $12,000.
13,000 actually.
13, I'm sorry, it was 13. Yeah, I thought they stalled at 12, but they ended up going 13. And so that's the kind of prices that we were seeing. And thank you so much to all of those buyers, because it means the world to those kids. Most of those kids use it for two things. They reinvest in their next year's 4-H project, and they save it to go to college. And so it desperately needed and so very much appreciated. So I just wanted to add my thanks.
And I think the reason I say we don't have the number yet is there was the actual dollar amount spent that day, but then folks have the ability to put add-ons onto these kids. So if they wanted to donate and weren't able to buy, like we weren't, you can add on to a particular kid, or you can spread around to several kids a dollar amount. So we're waiting, they usually give them a week or so to put those add-ons on there, so that increases those funds for those kids as well. So it's a good thing all the way around for those kids.
Yep.
All right, anything else from up here? Nope. Okay, we'll move on to the portion of citizens who wish to address the commissioners with matters not on the agenda. And we have Ms. Sue Madone. Hi.
Good morning.
If you'll turn that on right there in the front, the button, just like that. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I know I only have like 3 minutes, so I'm going to say this fast. So you all know I own Diana's Pumpkin Patch and Corn Maze, and I've been trying to do some improvements on the corn maze, but cannot do any improvements because you guys are trying to change the zoning regulations so that I can become compliant. And I appreciate what Dan is doing in trying to fix the county's compliancy issues. But in the meantime, it's, for one, costing us money, and for two, it's going to be a detriment to the pumpkin patch. So I started out wanting a larger building for my grain bin, which I already have a grain bin. A grain bin is simply it's a big carport with grain in it for kids to play in. In the off season, the 6 weeks that I'm not open, it stores all the carts and wagons. So it's a 3-sided building. So I did go through and went to get my permit to get that building, and Dan said that planning and zoning would not give me a permit for that. So I let that go. So then I need, one of the problems with that building is one end of that building, I bought a cow for the pumpkin patch. It's a mechanical cow that I wanted to show the kids how to milk a cow and be able to teach that. I'm a dairyman's daughter. I don't like the idea of almond milk, so I wanted to show kids that milk really comes from cows. That was ordered back in February, got shipped here from Scotland because America doesn't make them anymore. That cow was sitting in my garage, my house garage, because I cannot build that building. So then my next thought was, well, I will get a building that is not permittable. It'll be the 200 square foot building. I'll put the cow in that building for this year and make it with the opening doors so that the kids could file in to look at the cow. But I was also denied that, even though it was not a permit, it didn't need a permit. So I'm stuck with those two things, which I don't understand them. And then basically, there's things out at the pumpkin patch that I need to fix. Like my grill area that we have had for 20 years, with all the rain last year at the season, and with all the rain that's probably gonna fall this year, my grill is out in the open. I really thought that people would not buy food when it's raining, but that's not true. So last year, I was working under nothing, a shade tent, to grill, and everything is wet and ruined. And I want to build a simple lean-to over that grill. So this year we got hailed out, pumpkins all got hailed out, we've replanted, corn is made it back, but of course the pumpkin patch is pelted. So all the roofs need fixed, and while I was getting the roofs fixed, I wanted to get this awning over the grill. And I called a guy out to do it, and he says, you know, I don't want to get on the bad side of the county commissioners or the building department, so I won't even give you a price on building this awning. So I guess that's where I'm at with all of this, and I wanted to remind you guys, I understand, I just talked to Dan, he said the reason I'm not compliant is because he said, even though it's agricultural, it's commercial. So that means that everybody who's selling apples, pumpkins, whatever they're selling, are they all gonna be labeled as commercial in the new zoning? If I am commercial, I'm still agricultural. 6 weekends out of the year, I try to sell my product. And I wanted to remind all the board members that this is an agricultural state. It's state statute that we are supposed to be supporting agriculture, and it's agriculture and all its operations. And agricultural activities. I'm an agricultural activity. Yes, I sell pumpkins, just like if I was selling them along the road. I'm an agricultural activity because the activity is walking through the corn maze. I feel like it's still a farm. And I feel like if you guys want to keep it a farm, you have to work toward any agricultural endeavor in this county. You voted on it. It's right on your main planning and zoning. It's right on the main page for planning and zoning that we are agricultural county. I'd like to see that ruling enforced. And one other thing on there real quickly is on the county statute, it says the property owner notification, the board may elect to notify the owners of land concerning the right to farm policy and ranch. And that is not being done. And I get the part where it says you may elect to do it. I would like you guys to do that. Because if maybe some of the new people that are moving into town would know that this is an agricultural community, then you guys wouldn't get the complaints that it smells, or the weeds are blown, or the wind is blowing dirt, or all that. So that could be reinforced with, it says that it could be put out with every homeowner. Because we have new homeowners in our neighborhood that have not been there. They seen it's a farm before they started this, but they don't know any of the rules that we're allowed to be there. So that's all I wanted to say about my 3-minute spiel, and I would really like to have built my stuff this year, because now that cow's gonna sit in the barn, or my garage. Kids aren't gonna get to see it, and I think it's a detriment to the businesses that are trying to stay alive here. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want you to know that I'm a farmer myself, so we're 100% pro-agriculture. There's nothing against agriculture. Sounds like there's some building problems that maybe we need to address. But this is all news to me, so I'm gonna have to figure out what the whole story is about all of this. We'll look into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Dan would know that. And if you need the rights of farming,
I don't need that. I know exactly what it means, and I live by it every day. I live by it every day. So we got that. Thank you. All right. Any other citizens who wish to speak that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on to new business. And we have a proclamation for September 5th through October 30th as Fremont County Fall Heritage Days throughout Fremont County. And we have with us Major General John C. Fremont. Good morning, sir.
Very distinguished citizen this morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here today. I stand before you as John C. Fremont, explorer, soldier, and pathfinder of the American West. It is an honor to share my story with you. Born into a time of great change and possibility, I dedicated my life to exploring the uncharted frontiers of this vast land. With a compass in hand and a fire in my heart, I set out to chart the course of destiny. I was driven by an insatiable curiosity, a thirst for knowledge that could only be quenched by the touch of untamed wilderness. Through the Rocky Mountains, I ventured, facing treacherous terrain and unpredictable weather. The Sierras and the Great Basin, they whispered secrets to me as I carved my way through the unknown. It was these wild landscapes that I found not only geographical wonders, but a profound connection to the spirit of this nation. As an explorer, I understood the power of maps, those intricate lines that unfold the possibilities of the unknown. I meticulously recorded my findings, ensuring that those who followed in my footsteps could navigate these untamed lands. I sought to bring enlightenment and progress the ever-expanding boundaries of this great country. But it wasn't just the land that captivated me. It was the people who called it home. I befriended native tribes. Learning from their wisdom and honoring their traditions, I saw the vast potential of cultural exchange, recognizing that diversity is the true strength of a nation. My adventures led me to the military, where I fought for the cause of freedom and justice. I proudly served during the Mexican-American War and the Civil War, earning the nickname the Pathfinder for my strategic experience. I believed in the power of this young nation, its capacity to shine as a beacon of liberty for the whole world to behold. Yet my passion for exploration and discovery was not confined to the wilderness. In the political arena, I fought for the abolition of slavery, seeing it as a moral battle to preserve the very existence of our republic. I became the first Republican candidate for president in 1856, standing firm against the injustice that threatened to divide our nation. My life has been an unyielding pursuit of progress, driven by a sense of duty to this land and its people. I stood on the precipice of history, watching the young nation grow and transform, and though my name not be as well remembered as some, the spirit of exploration and courage lives on in the heart of this great country. So let my story be a reminder that there is no frontier too vast, no challenge too great for those who dare to dream. The American spirit is one of resilience, innovation, and boundless potential. May we always embrace the unknown, for it is the uncharted that we find the true essence of our humanity. Thank you, and may the spirit of adventure forever guide our nation's journey. Now, that's enough about me. What I'm really here for is the proclamation of this year's Fremont Fall Heritage Days. This year's Heritage Days will be from September 5th through October 30th. Our sponsors include the Fremont County Heritage Commission, the Fremont Historic Society, the Royal Gorge Regional Museum and History Center, the Western Fremont Historical Society, and the Florence Archive. We're currently looking for local businesses, groups, clubs, organizations, anyone who is interested in hosting an event that a heritage-related event, and need to know what people are planning. We have event applications on our website, fremontheritage.com. They can also be picked up at the Royal Gorge Regional Museum and History Center. We're asking that people fill those out as soon as possible so that we can start updating our schedule. Hope to have it fully updated by the first part of September. Yeah, and the schedule will be on our website as well, fremontheritage.com. Let's see, last year we had 24 events, I believe. We've been recovering slowly since the chaos of COVID. 2020, we completely canceled it. I was looking back through previous events. In 2015, we had 60 events. So we're looking to re-up, get more people involved so everyone can get out and enjoy and embrace our wonderful history of Fremont County.
That's awesome. That's a great story, too, about yourself. We do have a proclamation. Would you care to read it?
Absolutely. And I believe I have a copy. Fremont Fall Heritage Day, September 5th through October 30th, 2023. Whereas Fremont County is a community that values authentic and engaging activities that celebrate our heritage and provide interesting and fun educational events that promote awareness of our heritage. And whereas Fremont County is a community that benefits greatly from many contributions of individuals and organizations that actively seek to identify, preserve, and promote our rich heritage and historical resources, which includes recorded history as well as our paleontological and geological richness and diversity. And whereas Fremont County Heritage Commission encourages local programs and events that help educate residents and visitors about our heritage. And whereas the Fremont County Heritage Commission, in cooperation with the Fremont County Historical Society, Royal Gorge Regional Museum and History Center, Western Fremont County Historical Society and the Florence Archive is sponsoring Fremont Fall Heritage Days during September and October 2023 throughout the county. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that September through October 2023 is hereby designated as Fremont Fall Heritage Days. The County Commissioners do urge all people of Fremont County to participate in identifying, preserving, promoting, and celebrating our rich heritage and historical resources during this period and throughout the year.
Thank you. All right, I would like to note that Major General John C. Fremont, along with Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, they were all part of the fair this year too. So hopefully next year we'll have more of those. So it's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. So I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to come to us as Major General John C. Fremont. And what an incredible job you do. I don't know if our cameras could get it or not, but we have a portrait of John C. Fremont on our wall back here. And if you look at that, you would swear that you're looking at you. And so, happy accident, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think it's very impressive. But even more than that is the amount of work that you all do. All of those organizations that you just mentioned. We talked a minute ago about the Fremont County Fair and all the people and the volunteers that it takes to put that on. But I'm here to tell you that our Heritage Commission is every bit as passionate about what they do. And you have all done an incredible job over the years of just raising this organization to such a higher level and to bringing such incredible awareness and so many different programs to Fremont County about our heritage. And it is something that we need to celebrate. So the fact that it's coming back, I know what it was before COVID struck and the entire world shut down. Everything is taking a minute to restart, but you are all doing a wonderful job, and I just want to say thank you so very much for that.
Thank you.
And with that, I will make a motion to approve the proclamation declaring September 5th through October 30th as Fremont Fall Heritage Days throughout Fremont County.
Second,
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
just the note that we will have a signed proclamation for you when Commissioner Grantham does return.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
And good luck with all those events.
Thank you.
Yeah, be careful with that sharpened sword. All right, move on to the next one is a request to transfer of ownership for Colorado liquor license. Transfer ownership of Country Corner LLC, 411 Broadway in Penrose. And we have Howard McDowell here. Want to come on up, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Get to the right spot. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've got going on here?
Well, Cat Liquor, which has been in business, I don't know, 20-some years, decided she wanted to quit, sell out. So I decided I'd buy it, try to keep downtown Penrose alive, maybe. That's about it.
Still trying to get to the right folder because I didn't download it.
Meanwhile, I have a
You have
couple
any
of
questions?
questions.
Yep,
Yes.
go for it.
So
Thank you.
Howard, could you address for us, the big thing I always want to know is how will you control who alcohol is served to? Or bought through. So I need to know about the training of your staff specifically.
Okay, we had the previous manager trained, and I got another girl coming in that's going to be helping with the management and me also, and train them for IDs and everything. And also we're going to get a point of sale system that basically checks their IDs and stuff when they buy if they look too young.
So it sounds like you're keeping the same manager on board,
Not for very long. She's going to
but as a transition,
Yeah.
so that I think would probably be a helpful thing. Yeah,
Right.
that's always a good idea. So just to ensure that your people are TIPS certified, that they go through the appropriate training. Anyone who will be selling alcohol needs to go through that training.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Is that it for now?
For now.
Okay, I will turn to for staff report. Clerk Grantham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The clerk's office sees no issue with the applications as we've been provided all the necessary documents. We did send that application and it was reviewed by the county attorney, and so the clerk's office recommends approval for this application.
Okay. Any questions for Clerk Grantham?
I have none.
Okay, anything else?
Just a note that I do see in our packet the letters from folks that you have known personally who have attested to your character and the fact that they do believe this is a good fit for the area to continue leaving this particular business open. So I just wanted to let folks know that we do have that. We also do have the reports from environmental health and from the sheriff's office. We've got drawings of the location, all of those different things that we always do need before we are able to make a decision. And once again, this is actually a 62-page packet. So there's a lot of information here that we have taken the time to go through and read, which is probably why we really don't have any questions for you, because everything is answered here.
Okay.
Correct, yep. Stated well.
Yep.
Ready for a motion?
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the transfer of ownership of Colorado Liquor Retail License Transfer Ownership, Corner Liquor LLC, 411 Broadway in Penrose, Colorado. Yeah, that's my motion.
Okay, second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
you.
Good luck.
All right, good luck out there.
All right, item number 3, we have a reconsideration of a malt vinous spirituous liquors events permit for Nature's Educators for an event at 1194 County Road 110 in Florence, which is, I lost the name of it. What's the name of the place?
Desert Reef.
Desert Reef, thank you. On August 26th from 4 to 10. Do we have a representative here for Nature's Educators or Desert Reef?
Mr. McLaughlin did email me and said he wouldn't be able to attend today.
Thank you.
But they were notified that this was going to be on the agenda.
Both Nature's Educators and Desert Reef have been notified.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess just a little background. We did approve a couple of events to be held at
Desert Reef.
Desert Reef. My gosh, I can't remember the name of that place. Desert Reef. One of them has already happened. The second one is to happen August 26th. After the meeting, we found out there were some problems with sanitation, I guess, septic systems that were being installed because of the expansion of the facility. And I guess at this time, I'd like to ask Wyatt if you would come up and tell us a little more on that, please, sir.
Might identify who Wyatt is.
We have Wyatt as our
Morning.
building inspector.
He's our building official.
I'm
so
the
thank
building
you.
official.
Yeah.
So
Good
just,
morning.
just to bring you up to with a little background on this, this has been going on as far as the project expanding and going through several phases to increase the size of the Desert Reef Hot Springs. Back in mid-August of 2022, I had a meeting with Chris, which was the manager of Desert Reef at that time, and he was requesting that we reduce the size of the occupancy load at the hot springs itself. What it originally, it was sized for all 3 phases. He wanted us to reduce it down to 60 in phase 1, which after my meeting I agreed to, and I responded with an email to him along to the State of Colorado Plumbing Board. And I wrote after our meeting last week, I agreed to review your request, changing all your application and issued permits to reflect phase 1. I had spoken to the Fremont County Department of Zoning. When you applied for your modification, it was their recommendation that you include all modifications to eliminate having to refile every time you wanted to expand into a different phase. I contacted your engineer of record. He confirmed Your intention was to expand in phases. In order to eliminate the need to expand the leach field area with each additional phase, the OWTS was sized for all phases. After my research, I am granting your request, changing all applications and permits to reflect Phase 1, the pool area only, allowing the total occupancy load to reduce down to 60 occupants for Phase 1. And I urge the State of Colorado Plumbing Board to inspect accordingly. I included John McGee with the State Plumbing Board, and he had responded back to me and he said this was still in August, or this was back in September of 22. He said, thank you for clarifying the occupant load of 60 for Phase 1. Phase 1 appears to be for the pool area only. And you will be considering the area as an A5 occupancy, which is just an assembly for outdoor, basically. And he wrote, 2 accessible single-use bathing facilities will meet the minimum required fixtures for the IPC, International Plumbing Code, Table 4031, along with 4 single-use, non-accessible bathing facilities shown in the plan for Phase 1. All of the single-use bathing facilities fixtures are required to be installed according to Colorado Plumbing Code. And he went on to explain the code. As of this morning, I had a conversation with the state plumbing inspector, and he said that these toilet facilities, as far as the men and the female, which we granted back a year ago to be reduced as far as the occupancy load, when I reduced the occupancy load, it did not require him to have additional bathrooms. It required 180 female, 180 male, and 2 other facilities along with that. Otherwise, it would have required more facilities. We agreed to that. As of today, this morning, I had a conversation with the state plumbing inspector, and they have not been approved yet by the state. I asked him to look for permits because in the past he's had problems with keeping plumbers. The last plumber decided that he wanted to withdraw and close out the permit. It was granted to him to do so in May of this year. As of this date, he could not find an additional permit. I know in conversations that I was included in the emails with the attorney, Fremont County Attorney Brenda Jackson, and Chris, that he had stated that this was all taken care of. So that's one issue. The other issue I have is the OWTS, or the septic system. It is a pressure dosing sand filter system. It was not, they installed it and it wasn't approved by my department, or was it approved by the engineer of record? To give you an idea, what happens is it goes through a 2-tank process, and a 3rd tank is a pump tank, which pumps and pressures the effluent throughout the whole field evenly, so it's got equal distribution. The engineer firm went out and inspected it, and they had issues with the pressure dosing tank, or the pump tank. They said there should be 3 floats involved, which typically they are. There's a float that is an on float and an off float, and these are set at different gallons. And the usage is basically it's a timed dose usage. So it goes on, and then once it reaches the total capacity of gallons, it will shut off, or if the times out first, it will shut off. It's run by a timer. The 3rd float is a high water alarm float. Well, the way it was set up, there would be no way with one float that you could activate the mechanism to sound off the alarm in case this system was in failure, and it would start overflowing. There's several other situations that I know I had conversations with the engineer firm this morning, and just to clarify, there's other issues that are manufacturer's installation requirements that the installer in this outfit disagreed with his comments or his inspection. Even though they're not in our regulation, they are manufacturer's installation instructions, and all regulations would follow manufacturer's installation instructions regarding different equipment. So with that being said, in no way do we want to shut down this outfit. It's just that when they have special events, an increase of individuals that come into this facility, the max occupancy load is 60. That is what restroom facilities are there now. They accounted for 60. I spoke with the plumbing inspector, and he said if they have a special event, this was not ever included in the occupancy load. So therefore, they would be in violation of the state plumbing code because of the non-compliance of restroom facilities. So I have just wanted to bring this to your attention. I've been trying to get a hold of these individuals. I've been working with them since about January, February, and once April, this is when the first letter came out from the state plumbing inspector saying he was going to red tag them, because that's when the conversation between the owner and the plumber that was on record started to fall apart, and that's when he withdrew his permit. So that he gave them 30 days to comply. They did not comply, so he told me he did post a red tag and gave them 30 days to comply. It's been over 60 days when I talked to him this morning, and they still have no permit. So I'm not in favor of special events at this facility because they have an OWTS or a septic system that would not function properly. These systems cost anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000. And if it should go into failure, there's some issues that are in the tanks that could bring fats, sludge, or whatever into the system and pump through into the field, which would ruin their field. And it would eventually go into failure. So that is a little bit of the background, and my department, I don't agree on special events because of the situations and how these situations have been handled with Desert Reef.
Thank you, Wyatt. Do you have
Thank
any
you.
questions for Wyatt?
Wyatt, I'm sorry, I do have a
Okay.
couple of quick questions for you. So I think I followed everything you said.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the most important parts, I believe, are the system that is currently installed is both unpermitted and unapproved.
The toilet facilities that are there currently have no permit from the state plumbing board. The on-site wastewater treatment system has a permit, an active permit, that is not approved.
Okay. Second question I have, this event was supposed to be happening on August the 26th. Today is August the 8th. Is there any way that the entire process could be completed and they could be permitted by then if we made some sort of a motion to approve it pending that happening? Is that enough time frame for this to happen, or is there simply this will not happen in that time?
That would be 2 weeks, is that what we're talking about?
2.5, almost.
2.5.
20 days.
It's possible. Okay, it's possible this could have been completed 2 or 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But we have no cooperation with Desert Reef. So if they would cooperate with us, I imagine we could have worked our way through it. The only way I could get their attention, or the only way that we could respond to this, is coming before you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was no contact until the attorney sent a letter to Nature's Educators stating that we were going to receive
Correct.
this today, and then he finally responded.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Wyatt.
So I would make the comment that this is difficult, I believe, because the organization that was going to be benefiting from this fundraiser is not the organization that is unpermitted, that we're having issues with. And so it makes it very difficult in my mind to basically punish an organization and not allow them to have a fundraiser through something that is no fault of their own. And that makes it really hard, but at the same time, we cannot allow here in Fremont County gatherings where there is no sanitation that is approved and permitted, I believe.
Well, I agree. I think that the biggest problem I have with it is this sanitation and the potential of the failure of the system, and then the problems that that could cause, because it's not just for them, the ground, and it's just not good when sewage spills, I guess you might say. I kind of worry too that if the state plumbing inspector comes next week, I guess he's reached out to him too, and if they don't respond, that he would come down and check out the system and possibly red tag it again, which means that it's not going to happen by the 26th. I believe that the engineers were spoken to this morning, and they are not going to get to it this week because of the workload that they have. So that sets it back another 4 or 5 days. And you're right. It's I don't feel it's a punishment for Nature's Educators, but it's a bad outcome for them because they won't be able to have a fundraiser there. However, they can have them in other places. And this is for the liquor license for that fundraiser. So what we're talking about is either allowing the liquor license to go on or not.
Right. So let me ask our county attorney a quick question. Would it be appropriate for a motion to approve this particular permit only with the condition of a working, permitted, and approved system?
The license has already been approved, so I would suggest suspending the license to be reviewed again at your next board meeting, which is the 22nd. If the septic is close to being compliant or in compliance at that time, the event can proceed. If not, the license remains suspended.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for that. So, Mr. Chair, I would make a motion if you're prepared.
All right, I'm ready.
I move to suspend the malt, vinous, and spirituous liquor special events permit for Nature's Educators for an event at Desert Reef on August 26th, with a review again on our next agenda, which will take place at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday, August 22nd.
We'll second that. Any further discussion?
Just, I would ask Wyatt if you could come back, plan on being back for that meeting as well, to give us an update on what's happening. That'd be great, thank you.
And Clerk Grantham, will you make that notification to them through your office? Or is that something that you need to do, Ms. Jackson? Notification of them that that it's suspended? Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Sometimes we don't get off real easy, stuff like this. All right, no other business before us. We are adjourned.